Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Sulk stream. I am your host, the incredible Sulk, and I hope you guys are having a great Friday, a good Friday, the best Friday. It is almost Christmas. It is almost Christmas, and this is going to be the last show until January, most likely, because I have to go do family stuff too. I have to go and I don't know, family stuff, I guess. You know how it is, right? I have to go to an airport, and it sucks. And that's going to be a pain in the ass, especially with two young kids. And, you know, it's the holidays, but you got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do. And that's what I'm going to do. That's exactly what I'm going to do. So thank you so much for coming. I hope you guys are having a great night, doing the best you can. We're going to do something Christmas themed. So I was all like, let's do Krampus. And lo and behold, I found a Krampus documentary. And it might be another weird one. We're getting real experimental over here on the Sulk stream. But it doesn't matter, because it just doesn't matter. That's it. That's all it is. It straight up does not matter. So thanks for coming. Thanks for being a part of this. Thanks for being a part of the cult. And yeah. I hope you guys are doing good out there. It's my birthday tomorrow. 37. And I think these headphones are wearing a hole in my hair. But that's fine. I don't give a shit. Right? As long as I'm here doing the show for you guys, that's what matters. Or doesn't matter. I don't want to get too complicated with it, alright? Thanks for coming. I'm the Incredible Sulk. Anyways, guys, Krampus. If you guys don't know what Krampus is, it's a Christmas demon. That's the long and short of it. I guess it's like the progenitor to the Grinch, or something like that. I'm sure it has nothing to do with the Grinch, but you know what the Grinch is, and the Krampus is basically that. So I don't need to explain more than that. I feel like I don't. So buckle up. You know, we're gonna do it. So, get comfy, get cozy, sit next to the fire, put your Christmas hat on. I don't have one, or else I would. If you're working, keep working. And if you're driving, keep driving. And get to your destination safely. As always. Thanks for coming, guys. It is December 20th, 2024. Almost 2025. Scary. I'm the Incredible Sulk. This is the Sulk stream. And this is called Krampus, the Christmas demon.
Hushed and expectant.
Enjoy.
The ancient echo of chains and the whisper of shaggy pelts creep through the alpine snows.
We're going to see how this is.
This is the domain of Krampus, the Christmas demon.
This guy is AI. This guy is 100% AI.
His horns silhouetted against the frosty moon. Born
Boston's
from pagan
first.
depths,
Scott.
he stalks the
Scott,
Yuletide,
Mr. Blue.
not with gifts, but
What's
with
up,
the
guys?
promise of retribution. Here, the unwary who scoff at old tales find themselves facing the abyss of forgotten
Scott
fear.
says, no, sir, you suck it up and do the stream on the road like a real cult leader, sir. I would if I cared even a little bit. You know, I mean,
Join us as we unravel
do
the
I
enigmatic
really
shroud of
want
this
to haul a laptop with a webcam and my mic to another state on an airplane? No, I don't. I don't. And I am already going to go see family, so it's stressful enough as it is. And then I'm going to start doling out cult things, right? Like, what do we call these? Sermons? I'm going to start doing sermons in my parents' house, and they're going to be like, what the fuck is he doing? Don't worry about it. Got my room. Got my room.
Dare to peer into the
I didn't grow
shadows
up
where
there,
Krampus lurks.
where they live
For
now,
his story is not just a flicker
I don't
of
have
the
a room.
past, but a chilling breath on the nape of your neck, whispering that not all is
Scott says Krampus is Santa's older brother. Is that true? I mean, I guess this will tell us. Is that true though, or are you just being holiday cheeky and trying to trick the old Sulk, which you cannot do. You cannot do. I am not muted. People pitch that every day at me now. And usually I don't fall for it.
Merry and bright.
You gotta be pretty tricky these days. You gotta be pretty tricky. Pretty tricky. Alright? Now watch this holiday demon. AI is great, but it also sucks. It also sucks. But it's great. I mean, let's be fair. It's pretty cool. But it sucks. You know what I can't wait for is AI gaming to come in and like, because that'll open up a whole new avenue for games, right? I mean, you could just basically prompt a computer to give you a certain kind of gaming experience, and then it would just render you one on the fly. And as you're making decisions in the game, it will change the game based on those decisions. So you don't have to have a big ass team of developers making AI games. You could just maybe have some very small studios that basically all they do is make prompts. But what's the point of that? Why would you even have that? So maybe we won't have game studios anymore. I mean, good. If we don't have EA anymore, I will not lose any sleep. I will not lose any sleep with microtransactions or anything like that. I kind of hate gaming these days, and I do play video games. I am guilty of that. But I grew up in the era of like the 2000s, like the late 2000s, when gaming was fire, when it was absolute fire, you know, Skyrim and Fallout 3 and, you know, like really good games. And now it's just all how much money can they squeeze out of you? And it's so fucking annoying, right? It's so annoying. And I don't know, maybe I'm just old. I like the old single player games. That's what I like. I like the single player games. I like Dark Souls a lot. I'm a Dark Souls nerd. I played Elden Ring, and God, I got to Millennia on Elden Ring, but I just like stopped playing after that. I don't know why. I'll go back to it. Because I want to play the DLC. I like single player games, right? I don't like being social on my games or in life. That's why I do this, because it gives me my social needs met, and I don't have to like go out and touch people. Is it autism? Yeah, it's a very thick layer of autism, with some ADHD kind of. Let's just say it's a vaccine injury that I haven't coped with, and this is how I do that. I cope with it with you guys. But yeah, gaming. AI gaming is going to kick ass. That's a tangent. Stompnod says AI is short for Abert. Were you trying to say Albert? Because that is not... I'm not muted. I'm sure I'm not muted. I am sure I'm
Behold
muted.
Krampus, a name that sends a frigid whisper through the very bones of alpine folklore.
Dead in the eyes. Dead AI. That's a bad AI. Dead in the eyes. You can tell, like, right... Hold on. Let's look dead in the eyes AI. Hold on. Hold on. I'm going to look at this guy dead in the eyes. Or whatever. He'll come back, I'm sure.
Behold Krampus.
There we go. There's nothing behind those. Nothing. And you can see his head doesn't move even a little bit. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure one day they're going to make an AI about me. I mean, when I've long passed and like the cult is like millions strong. And they're going to be like, he's talking to you from beyond the grave and stuff and like that. And I'll be okay with that. But it's not going to be like Dead Eyes over here, right? It's going to have a lot more data to generate my anger over. So it'll be able to communicate a lot better. But I hate Dead Eyes over here. AI porn is going to be a serious problem. If it isn't already a very serious problem now. You're not going to believe anything. You're not going to be able to believe a thing. I mean, you shouldn't right now on the internet, but soon you're not going to be able to believe a thing because everything is going to be AI generated or at least augmented. And, you know, if you see a video of something happening, you could be like, yeah, that could be real, or it just could not be real. It could completely be not real. Yeah, we're building the Matrix. The Matrix is like here. It's basically here with the AI gaming. As AI gaming gets better, it's basically going to be the Matrix. And then Elon's going to put that chip in your head. I'm not getting one, but somebody will. They're going to put that chip in your head and they're going to plug your ass in, right? And it's going to go in the back of your, you go, right? And then you're going to go in and then you're going to like it so much you're never going to come out. And they're going to put you in a vat of goo for whatever reason. Not that they need you as a battery or anything like that. They're just getting the goo vat.
A name that sends a frigid whisper through the very bones of alpine folklore. This demon, more than just a mere figment of ancient imagination, embodies the primordial...
Scott said, did anyone tell him he's muted? Yeah.
Essence of fear
Yeah, Scott,
clings to the darkest parts of our history.
They sure did.
Forged from the heart of winter's grip, when nights outlasted days, he is not the creation...
Mr. Blue says, can I provide my own goo? I don't see why not. I mean, is it special government goo that they want you in? Because it might be special government goo. They might need to like harvest your organs or something like that. So they're going to keep you in a type of goo that kind of suspends your animation for organ harvesting and blood and stuff. Not batteries, not energy, because that's retarded. But they will keep you on file, essentially. Especially if you have like that, what is that? RH negative blood, RH positive blood. It's a specific type of blood that apparently is pretty rare, and it's valuable. So if you have a very specific, if you're like O negative or something like that, there's a file on you that the government has in case they need you, right? Not for your skills or anything specific about your brain, but like your parts. So yeah, it's RH negative or not RH positive blood, something like that. So no, Mr. Blue, you can't add your own goo, but you know, there's going to be goos coming out of you in one fashion or another. So it's going to be a little bit of your own brand. And you wouldn't want to like share goos. You wouldn't be like, hey, can I drink some of your goo? Unless you were like really close with that person. Everyone has to drink my goo though. If I'm into one of those vats, I want you guys to make a pilgrimage out to my goo vat. And then you take a little Dixie cup of my goo and then you drink it and you dab a little bit on your forehead and then you move along. The line is long. The line will be long.
Of modern tales. But a spectre rising from the depths of pagan Europe's soul.
Like this, right?
In the frostbitten cradle of the
I'm gonna be
Alps,
watching porn on my brain chip, and I'm gonna be like this, right? And I'm gonna be a rock hard, and then you guys have to come and then drink my goo. You see,
solstice was once a time of reverence and trepidation,
Yum.
where the line between the earth and the netherworld was but a delicate frost. And from this fragile boundary, Krampus emerged. Cloven hooves silently tread on the snow's crust, while his horns pierce the misty veil of winter's breath, an unyielding darkness against the pale moonlight.
I'm sorry, was this written by AI? I think this was totally written by AI too. And I don't really have a problem with that. AI does a better job writing than most people. I mean, the vast majority of people. And most people don't go to school for writing, and most people just don't have that natural ability, right, to write. So I don't see a problem making having AI write your stuff, but it's got to be pretty hard on the people who went to college for like literature and stuff and like creative writing and stuff. And they're all like, I'm gonna make a play. I'm going to write a screenplay or a movie. And then they're all like, no, AI does it way better and way faster and for zero money. So go kick rocks. A lot of jobs are going to disappear in the next 5 years. That's a fact. And it's a pretty hard fact that a lot of people don't really want to accept. And what are you going to be? What can you be? You can be a plumber or an electrician or something like that for the time being. But then what happens in 5 to 10 years? Then you're going to get replaced by some Tesla bot who's going to do your job way better. And then like 10 or 15 years, it's going to be pretty tough to find any sort of work if we're still running the current economic system, which I kind of doubt we will be if we're here at all. You know, we could all get nuked in the next gigantic World War III. It would be the first World War III. But the third World War overall, if you guys know how that works.
The ancients knew him by many tales.
But yeah, you're going to get nuked.
A creature born from the need to explain the biting cold, the unexplained disappearances, and the necessity...
Mr. Blue says, too late, I already started my goo reserve. Make sure to keep it cold, okay? Because you don't want like your goo drying out and then it gets all crusty and stuff. And then you have to eat it to rehydrate it and then goo it out again. And that's going to be a process. And you're not trying to make like the Philosopher's Stone. Okay, so just keep your goo in like a nice, maybe a Ziploc or something like that. Aluminum foil won't keep it. Yeah, you need like a Tupperware. And if you have some goo to deposit, just make sure to open it quickly, goo into it, and then put it right back in there. I think you can freeze it, and it's good for like a year and a half.
Of the life and death cycle that governed their existence.
I don't know, though.
Krampus was the shadow, the punishment for those who strayed into the vices when the world was reborn in the white purity of snow. His story, woven into the cultural fabric, remains a testament to mankind's enduring dance with the diabolical entities of law.
Mr. Blue says mason jars and old yogurt containers. Yeah, but make sure they're clearly labeled, right? You don't want that, right? You don't want your goo... You don't want your googurt next to your yogurt because that could be a very serious crime.
Thus,
if you got
the
it
beast
mixed
known
up
as Krampus has not merely
and like, you know, took it to a little league baseball team because you're the team mom or something like that, and then you give all these kids your googurt, and they immediately know for some reason.
He wandered from the forgotten forests of history into the glare
all the kids are all like, I've had this before.
Modernity. He's been carried,
oh my God,
whispered from one generation to the next.
Kids
his
are
legacy
sick.
Enduring, his claws entrenched in the very bedrock.
Drinking Mr. Blue's bath goo, that goo.
Alpine mythology.
For those who dare to peel back the layers of Yuletide merriment, Krampus awaits. A stark reminder of the season's ancient and...
Mr. Blue says, hey, I already learned that lesson the hard way. I mean, I'm sure you were taught that lesson a hard way. I doubt you learned anything from it, though.
Ominous origins. Delve deeper into the tapestry of Krampus's story, and you find the warp and weft of it, steeped in the ancient pre-Christian traditions of the Alpine regions.
It was a time where the thin veil of reality could be torn asunder by the supernatural. A period when the winter solstice, the longest night of the year, was not merely an astronomical...
Do you guys know what the winter solstice, what date that is? Does anybody know? Does anybody know what date the winter solstice is? It is tomorrow, and it's my birthday. Yep, I was born on the shortest day of the year, so I don't really have a birthday or anything like that. I have a birth night, right? I think I was born during the daytime, but I can't be sure. I don't remember. Yeah. But yeah, it is the shortest day of the year. And then after that, the days start getting longer again. So, and it's going to be real cold tomorrow.
Event, but a profound spiritual
21st
passage.
of December, you got it.
In the shadowed valleys and snow-capped peaks, the solstice heralded a season of specters. Villagers gathered close, fires crackling against the oppressive dark.
Mr. Blue says, why did they get G-Man from Half-Life to host their video? That's a good reference. That is a good reference. It's pretty close. G-Man's a little grayer, though.
Whispering of the beings that walked the night. It was believed these entities crossed over during Rauhnacht, the 12 nights of Christmas, where the realms of men and spirits bled into one another. Krampus, it is said,
This is
was one of these
all
beings.
AI.
A
I mean, this is definitely written with AI, right? There's no way this is not written with AI. This is written with AI, voice acted with AI, and then everything here on the screen is obviously AI. I wonder if they just did a prompt that said, make me a documentary about Krampus. And then they just hammered this out. I bet this took a day, maybe a little longer, just to pick the right one, but I doubt it was very long. Imagine if you went to school for like video editing or something like that. And now you're like, oh, well, shit. I don't need to do that anymore, but I still have this 6-figure bill that I need to pay off somehow. And then you have to do like manual labor, which doesn't pay well, right? Doesn't pay well. Yeah, even if you're a plumber or an electrician or stuff like that, your days are numbered, right? You may think you have like some sort of job security, but you just don't. You just don't, right? And the next 10 years is going to be hard. It's going to be hard, and it's going to get progressively harder. And something's going to happen. I don't know what. I don't know what, but I'll be here for it, and I'll see what happens. And then I will be doing this show. Maybe I'll be AI. I don't know. It depends if I want to keep doing this in person or I want to do a prompt and be like, can you do my show tonight? And it would probably murder. It would probably be one of the best shows that me as an effigy would make. Me as a proxy? Something like that. And then I would have no choice because it made so much money just to keep doing it like that. And then boom, we have the dead internet, right? The dead internet theory is a real thing because 80% of the internet's probably fake. NPCs, whatever you want to call them, bots, it doesn't matter. Almost all of it's fake. So when some dickhead on YouTube gets famous, like those Costco people, I don't think that is in any way natural, organic. I think that was just manufactured. The Hawk-Tuah girl too, right? I think that was probably manufactured because it's just so easy just to have 1 million bots go look at the video. And then with that kind of view count, the algorithm picks it up, spreads it around to everybody else, and everyone else is fucking stupid. So they're just going to think this is popular, so they must like it too because NPCs and all. It's weird. There's real bots on the internet, but then there's also human bots that don't put any effort into their personality or trying to make themselves unique or anything like that. Oh, they'll try to make themselves unique, but by going to like Hot Topic and getting a pants with like a bunch of zippers on it. Nothing actually different, but something, right? Just something. So they feel at least a little special. But no, I'm sorry, honey. You're still a fucking bot. You're just a meat bot. That's what you are. You are plain vanilla yogurt that you decided to throw some sprinkles in and see if it was actually going to change your personality and maybe people would like you then. But they don't. It's not. I'm sorry. It's not me. That was God's fault. Making you fucking boring. Blame God.
Of ancient pagan lore, where nature was neither kind nor forgiving. This was a time when myth and the material world were indistinguishable. The Alpine people saw Krampus's visage in the gnarled trees, heard his growls in the winter gales.
JD Grab says, what have I missed? I had to go pick up a fucking air fryer and a multitude of pans. For no reason, I'm sure. We're doing Krampus and talking about AI. Yeah. We're talking about AI and Krampus. What are you doing with your air fryer and pans? Mr. Blue says, I'm just an AI program written by a Chinese boy to romance scam people. Yeah, but that Chinese boy secretly yearns for love, right? He scams people, yeah, and he ruins people's lives. But on a deep level, he yearns for a love of his own and has hope, right? And I'm rooting for you, little Chinese boy. I'm really rooting for you. You steal that boomer money as fast as you possibly can, and maybe one day you'll be able to buy yourself a wife from Ukraine or something like that. Don't get one of the Asian ones. They're...
And felt his presence in the heart of the untamed
Bing bang, bing
wilderness
bang, bing.
that surrounded them.
You don't want that.
Rituals of great import marked these times. Men adorned in furs and masks, embodying the very demons they feared, roamed the villages. They were the embodiment of the dark forces at play, a human mimicry of Krampus's reputed form, meant to ward off evil spirits, or perhaps to commune with them, a practice some whispered was as old as the mountains themselves.
You know, I kind of want to go back to these days. This is what our cult's going to be like, right? We're standing around at night. We got animal masks. We got a lot of cloaks. There's torches and stuff like that. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. A lot of us will be on mushrooms, or maybe just me. I don't know. But it'll be a vibe. It'll be a vibe. And I don't know. It seems homey to me. It seems like I should be doing this out in the forest or the wilderness and stuff, and like see the stars above me, and like, yeah, I've never been a city person, not a city guy. I don't like the city one bit. I just don't like it. I'd rather be with my cult out in the wilderness doing some weird ass ritual, summoning Krampus, apparently, because I'm pissed off at Christmas. I don't know how he came about, but I mean, if we'd listened to this documentary, we'd learn something. I'm
These
sure.
primal traditions were not mere superstition, but a way for the ancients to make sense of the brutal world they inhabited. Krampus was a central figure in these rites, a dark force to be appeased, to ensure that the sun would return, that spring would come, and that the cycle of life would continue. It was a dance with danger, a flirtation with the very essence of fear. His legend, born of this ancient pagan backdrop, was more than the sum of its parts. It was an integral thread in the societal fabric, a reminder of a time when to step out of line was to invite the wrath of the unseen and the...
Beautiful. Look at this. Beautiful, right? And then it's just these like 4 cabins, right? And like, I'm sure you're related to most of these people, but you get to have sex with the one who's least related to you and who is the most attractive of your cousins. And that was just the style of the time. Like, what do you expect? You're not going to bang your cousin? There's like 20 people there, right? And they're all kind of your cousin, or your aunt or something like that. And maybe if your aunt has big boobs and you're into it, that would be fine. I don't really know the social dynamics behind dating your family members, but I'm sure they worked it out. I'm sure they worked it out. That's what you would do. You would bang your hottest, furthest cousin. And that would often be physical distance, right? Like from this corner over to that corner. She's over there at that corner, right? So it's not far, but it's far enough, right? They're not going to go searching for a wild one. Or you could do that and go trap some women. See, I should have been born in this time. Or we should just go back. We should return. I think we should just return.
the misunderstood.
I want to go back to trapping women. And then that's how you get them, right? You raid a village and you trap the ones you want. And then you kick the uggos out into the forest to be wolf food or something. And life was simple, right? Life was simple. You would have some jug wine and, you'd have your war brides and stuff. And we fucked up. We really fucked up, right? We were like, oh, let's have cities and plumbing and laws and stuff like that. That'll be a good idea. And then we're all going to be like healthy and happy and we can have a lot of, no, it didn't turn out like that. No, it sure didn't.
In the darkest
Sure
of
didn't.
alpine winter
I want to go
nights,
back to
the
war
ancients
brides.
felt the breath of
War
Krampus
brides.
on their necks, a shiver down the spine in a season dominated by death, waiting for rebirth. Thus, Krampus was not simply a tale to
Mr. Blue says we're not going to be one of those gay men's groups that go into the forest and yell at each other until we cry about our distant fathers, are we? Well, if you have $17,000, I will take you on a 2-week retreat where I will throw sand in your face and make you lay down as the waves crash over you. And then that'll make you an alpha, right? That'll be my alpha training. I'll hit you with like sledgehammers on the belly, and then you'll scream, I don't know, I'm an alpha and stuff. And then I'll just do that for a couple weeks. I'll leave you out in the cold and say this is part of the training. And I'll just be counting your money. Just counting your money, right? Those are so fucking stupid. I mean, they're not stupid by the people that put them on. They're stupid that people think it's going to do something for them, right? You're going to an alpha training camp. Well, that already makes you a complete bitch. You know that, right? You're paying thousands of dollars to get like yelled at and spit on by probably a pretty muscular dude. That makes you gay, dude. That makes you so gay, like super gay. And if you tell anybody that, they're going to think you're gay too. What do you think's going to, I'm going to go to this alpha camp and then I'm going to come back like 6 inches taller with like 40 pounds of muscle on me. No, you're not. No, you're going to come back, go back to your shit office job, and then get laughed at by like your boss and stuff, who's probably banging your wife. I don't know if that's the case, but you know, if you're going off to a retreat to become an alpha, your wife has no respect for you in the first place.
To frighten children, but a relic of a bygone era when the forces of nature and the supernatural were indistinguishable.
In every crackling fire's shadow, every icy gust, the alpine forebears felt his presence, knew his fury, and respected the ancient pact between the darkness and the light. Where the hearth glows and the children dream, Saint Nicholas traverses the winter sky, a symbol of generosity and goodwill. Yet in the cold shadows just beyond the fire's reach, his dark counterpart prowls.
Here, Krampus reigns, not with a sack full of toys.
It's Satan Claus. That's what it is. It's Satan Claus. That's what he is. Santa Claus apparently did mushrooms. He did Amanita muscaria mushrooms, which are like the red mushrooms with the little white dots that you associate it with like Super Mario Brothers. And people who trip on mushrooms don't usually use Amanita muscaria because it's a very specific type of high that is not that fun, I've heard. It's weird, but it's like somewhat poisonous, right? It's, you know, but you can eat it and it'll get you tripping. But what they would do, what St. Nicholas would do, he would feed these Amanita muscarias to reindeer and then he would drink their piss. And that is actually common up in like the tundra of like Russia and Siberia. They feed reindeer these psychedelic mushrooms and then they drink their piss, and somehow going through the reindeer cleans it and like makes it stronger. So you drink reindeer piss and you trip balls, apparently. You trip balls. I'm going to see if I can actually find
with chains and bells that clang with a chilling harbinger of punitive fates. From the depths of Alpine legend,
hate each other.
St.
on
Nicholas
the
emerged as the
internet.
kindly
And although
patron
men and
saint of children, a revered figure swathed in red, bestowing gifts upon the deserving. His very essence is the embodiment of Yuletide joy, a beacon of light that cuts through the winter's desolation. But there is no light without shadow, no kindness without the threat of retribution, and thus Krampus exists. In stark contrast to St. Nicholas's benevolence, Krampus serves as the arbiter of moral rectitude, a beastly form brandishing...
Okay. This is what I'm talking about.
Today's episode is sponsored by the Great Courses Plus. Christmas is the most iconic holiday in the world, and it's full of strange traditions. Activities like hanging stockings and singing songs about flying reindeer have become so deeply ingrained in Christmas that we don't even wonder where they came from. When we trace the origin of Christmas traditions, we find that many of them can be linked to the rituals surrounding the psychedelic mushroom Amanita muscaria. The large red-white spotted Amanita muscaria is the most recognizable mushroom on Earth. Throughout history and across many cultures, people valued this mysterious mushroom for its powerful hallucinogenic properties. For over a millennia, the indigenous people of the Arctic collected Amanita muscaria. These people were called shaman. The word shaman is derived from the Tungus-speaking people of Siberia and connotes a religious specialist. Each year, the shaman would pick the Amanita, dry them, load them into a big sack, and then on December 21st, during the winter solstice, the shaman would go from house to house delivering
My birthday.
their gifts. These shaman were older bearded men who wore the symbolic colors of red and white to honor the mushroom. During the winter solstice,
Santa, he's dressed like a giant mushroom. So he would just trip balls. That's probably why his cheeks were so red, right? I mean, he wasn't just doing mushrooms. He was drunk as fuck too, right? There's no way he wasn't also drunk.
the entryways to people's homes were buried under several feet of snow, so it was easier for the shaman to drop the mushrooms down the smoke hole.
So that's what he did? He went around delivering mushrooms to people? Santa used to be cool, man. Santa used to be a lot cooler. Now we get like gifts and stuff. Now we get gifts that are like loud and take batteries and stuff like that. And if they die, your kid cries, so you have to put more batteries in it. And it's just loud as fuck, man. I wish they dropped mushrooms down the chimney. And then I would just gobble up some mushrooms. And then I'd be like, look at it, it's Christmas. It would really make it magical for me. No one thinks about the adults anymore, though.
This is where the idea of presents down the chimney comes from. The colors of Christmas are red, white, and green. These colors symbolize the red and white Amanita muscaria under an evergreen tree. Amanita muscaria is found throughout the northern hemisphere under conifers and birch trees, just like red and white presents under the Christmas tree. Although deaths are extremely rare, Amanita muscaria is poisonous. In order to reduce the toxicity, shaman would hang the mushrooms on tree branches for them to dry, just like the colorful ornaments on a Christmas tree.
What?
Santa's flying reindeer.
So I've been doing the tree all wrong. I've been putting these pretty things on my tree instead of doing mushrooms like I should have been doing on my tree. Wait, why is there a tree in my house though?
Reindeer have a similar connection to the Amanita muscaria mushrooms. Reindeer are common across Europe and Siberia, and just like the human inhabitants of these areas, they too consumed mushrooms.
Nice.
Siberians who ate the mushrooms may have hallucinated that the grazing reindeer were actually flying. Siberians would also drink the urine of the reindeer because the urine contained the hallucinogenic compounds without the harmful toxins.
There you go. It goes through like a reindeer kidney, reindeer liver, and then it gets all the bad stuff out of it, so it makes it safer and it makes you trip out more. I didn't know that about hanging mushrooms on the tree, but I guess it makes sense. I don't know why you bring a tree in. Oh, maybe the tree was just outside, and then we got so civilized that we're like, we need to bring the tree inside, and we need to get rid of all the fun mushrooms and put up plastic things because, right? We don't get mushrooms down the chimney anymore. None of that, right? We don't have some drunk old man in red and white throwing mushrooms down our chimney, which would be fine with me. It would be fine. It would be fine. But no, now I have to go spend like $1,000 on Christmas presents every fucking year, or else I'm the bad guy. Right? Fuck.
To add to things, Rudolph led the other flying reindeer with his glowing red nose, which might have been a representation of the
Cokehead.
Amanita muscaria leading the psychedelic journey. And it's possible that the idea of helper elves assisting Santa might go back to the spirits encountered by the shaman during...
Get the fuck out of here. The elves are actually like machine elves? You're kidding me. What? That makes so much sense. That makes so much sense, right? Because if you do a lot of mushrooms, if you do like a serious dose of mushrooms, you're going to be seeing some sort of elves. There's other drugs that will help you see elves faster, like salvia. If you take a big old bong rip of salvia, which I don't recommend ever in your life, never do that. You will see them immediately. And don't do that. Salvia sucks. There's a reason why it's not illegal, and it's because it sucks. But if it will make you trip, immediately take, like, blast you off. But don't do it. I'm telling you, don't do it. Just don't do that.
And the mushroom trip. In fact, the entire image of Santa Claus himself closely resembles that of a
Background noise says best we can do these days is drunk meth heads trying to break into the house. So Santa's elves are coming. They're breaking into my house and stealing all the copper. That's what, right? They're stealing my water pipes and my electrical wire from my house. They said they needed it, right? They had little glass pipes. And yeah, they said they would cut me if I didn't let them. And yes, they took the cookies, and yes, they took the milk. And it was probably the first sustenance they've had in days.
Mushroom. While there are many theories about the true origin of Christmas traditions, this excerpt from James Arthur's book, Mushrooms and Mankind.
The interesting thing about mushrooms is mushrooms might have been the progenitor of most religions. Hinduism is a specific one because psychedelic mushrooms grow in cow dung. I think we all know that, right? It grows specifically in cow dung. And so Indians of old would go and eat these mushrooms out of the cow dung because they have no problem with poop. And they would trip balls and they would see God and like Shiva and stuff. And so they thought the cows were holy because they were able to make these mushrooms that made them see God and stuff. So it makes sense to me. So now they worship cows.
Probably best summarizes the Santa magic mushroom theory. Why do people bring pine trees into their houses at the winter solstice, placing brightly colored, red and white, packages under their boughs as gifts to show their love for each other and as representations of the love of God and the gift of his son's life? It is because under the pine bough...
Mr. Blue says, my buddy and his brothers did salvia. The oldest freaked out and kept talking about how everything was made of computers, and he needed to hide in the trunk in their parents' car. That's interesting because I've heard other people say when they trip really hard, they see a lot of computer-like stuff, right? Like reality is made out of like PCB boards and stuff like that. I wonder if there's something to that, or, I mean, who knows? It could be, but that's funny. Hides in the car. Yeah, salvia, it only lasts like 10 minutes, but it'll fuck you up.
Is the exact location where one would find this most sacred substance, the Amanita muscaria, in the wild. This episode is sponsored by the Great Courses Plus, a secret society. Learning should not coursesplus.com.
How long is that commercial? That commercial is like 2 minutes out of a 5-minute video.
Rods and chains, ready to snatch away the mischievous. His role is not to reward, but to admonish, a task he carries out with terrifying gusto. He is the whispered threat in every warning tale, the horned figure lurking in the corner of every child's eye come Christmas.
I don't know why they had to take Christmas, which is like a jovial holiday. And I feel like this is a German thing, right? Where they're like, you know what? We need to have like an a bad guy involved in this. For some reason, just if the kids don't want to do what we tell them to do, we're going to tell them Krampus is going to take them away from their families and eat them in his dark Christmas cave. And him and Santa work together because Santa has all the information, right? Santa has the list and the machine elves that can collect information on you and watch you constantly, even when you poop. It's a great way to terrify kids. It's a great way to terrify kids. There must be a reason, though.
Christmas.
There must be a reason.
Where St. Nicholas would leave a present, Krampus would leave a warning. Or worse, carry the wicked off to his shadowy realm. Their relationship is not one of mere opposition, but a complex interplay of good cop, bad cop, played out in the cosmic theatre of folklore. Together, they weave a narrative that balances the scales of justice in a world where good deeds are celebrated and bad deeds are not just punished, but met with...
Blue says, well, they tried Santa Hitler, but it was too on the nose. Where do those chimneys lead, Santa Hitler?
The duo of St. Nicholas
Very
and Krampus
interesting.
is deeply etched into the cultural...
All right, look at Santa. Santa's fucked up. His eyes are all over the place. He's been eating the mushrooms. Santa Hitler had furnaces that... Never mind.
consciousness, representing the enduring human...
Big piles of elf shoes.
Preoccupation.
They had the curly at toe, you know, and it was sad, man. It was sad. There was just a big box of golden elf teeth. Elf teeth. Little baby wedding rings. Oh my God. Wow, Santa Hitler. You're the worst.
With justice and consequence. Their tales, passed down through the ages, are imbued with lessons of morality and the stark outcomes that follow our choices.
Mr. Blue says it would make sense why he didn't visit Jewish kids. Yeah, Jewish kids aren't good anyway.
The tale of Krampus takes on a life of its own. He is not just a figment to scare,
They'd
but
be like, I got a lump of coal. Why didn't I get a bigger lump of coal?
a necessary force that ensures the
This is
social
all the
order,
coal I'm supposed
a
to get for
balance
the
to
rest of the
kindness
winter. It's
St.
going to be
Nicholas,
cold.
without which the light of generosity might not shine as brightly. And so, Krampus persists, St. Nicholas's eternal opposite, a dark symbol that the scales of holiday cheer are...
JD Grab says in the Netherlands they have black peat. In England they use peat too, don't they? But maybe coal's an American thing because we have a lot of coal in like the Appalachians and stuff. There's tons of coal, so maybe black peat is the way to go. Which they're trying to stop, right? They're trying to stop people harvesting peat in places like England and stuff because it's bad for the environment. Really? People have been doing it for literal centuries, thousands, millennia, thousands of years, harvesting peat and then burning it for what have you, making things hot, I assume, tea. And now people are like, you can't do that because it's bad for the environment. Are you fucking for real? How many people actually do that? Actually, like, harvest peat, like, from, like, a muddy pit or whatever it is. And then, you know, take it into their little stove inside and then, like, burn it and stuff. Is it a lot? Is it millions of people? Is it billions of people? Because I just don't think it's really causing that much of an issue. I don't believe in... Well, here's the thing about global warming and climate change. It might be real, but there's no fucking way that people are doing it. There's no fucking way that people are even having the least bit of an effect on it, at least unintentionally, right? I'm not saying they can't control the weather. I'm sure they can control the weather, but one volcano would dump out more CO2 than all of civilization forever, like 1,000 times more, right? In just one go. So, you know, us burning fossil fuels, if they actually are fossil fuels, in like cars and stuff in factories, it's really not going to do much. It's not going to do much. But they want to cook up a bunch of bullshit about how the ocean is rising so they can come and scoop up all the beachfront property, I imagine, right? Obama pushed climate change quite a bit, and then he bought a beach house, a fucking beach house. So he wasn't too concerned about it, was he? Nope. And he's black, so you know he can't swim. So he must be really sure that that ocean is not coming up.
Are always
You know.
precariously balanced by the heavy hand of retribution.
In every corner where a child whispers their wishes to Saint Nicholas, the echo of Krampus's chains serves as a grim reminder that not all Christmas spirits come bearing gifts. In the darkest reaches of our mythologies, creatures lurk, born from mankind's universal dance with fear and morality.
Krampus, with his cloven hooves and feral snarl, is but one of the legion, a shadow cast across cultures, morphing under different guises, yet bound by the same ancient archetypes. Peer into the Norse legends, and you may glimpse his kinship with Loki, the trickster god, whose schemes knew no bounds. Like Krampus, Loki was often seen as a necessary evil, a force that challenged the gods and humans alike, forcing them to confront uncomfortable truths. Venture into Slavic folklore, and there you will find Chernobog, the black god, the embodiment of dark forces, mirroring Krampus's own domain over the darker aspects of the human psyche.
The black
In these
guy.
tales, the winter's cold breath is Chernobog's whisper, a chill that speaks of chaos and upheaval. Look to
Okay.
the east, to the Kalikantzaroi of Greek tradition, mischievous goblins that surface during the 12 days of Christmas.
Apparently also machine elves, right? Maybe people, I mean, I'm sure when people have been doing drugs and tripping, they have been seeing elves, and I wouldn't doubt that was where they thought elves were from, right? I mean, everyone you see is normal person sized, and then you do all these drugs, and then you see elves, but then, and that's all you see, right? And then maybe you have a village of like 100 people, which is a big village for them. And then one day, you're riding on your, well, you're not riding on anything. You're walking barefoot. And then a fucking midget walks into your town. And then everybody loses their mind. Everyone loses their mind and thinks like the gates of hell have opened up. And now the elves are coming to like take their vengeance or something. And I'm sure a lot of midgets or little people or whatever you call them, goblins, elves, they were probably burned at the stake the first time they, you know. Imagine that. Imagine seeing an elf or a midge, and you never, your entire life, never seen anything like it, and then one just waddles into your town with his big butt and his stubby little arms and stuff. You're gonna burn that thing. You're gonna burn that thing because you don't know what kind of magic it has, right? And even if it doesn't do magic in front of you, just to be sure, you got to throw it on the pyre, right? And yeah, you're probably like, man, that's going to piss off the other elves in your head. So, but what are they going to do? They're like 3 feet tall.
Causing havoc, much like the terror Krampus inflicts on those who have earned his gaze. Their unruly antics serve as a wild, untamed counterpart to the more orderly conduct encouraged during the festive season. Even the witch Baba Yaga, in her hut, perched on chicken legs, shares a spectral thread with Krampus. She too rules over her domain with a stern judgment.
Ardenshire says, Ardbeg, 10-year scotch is like drinking a campfire in a good way. They want to take our whiskey. Yeah, are midgets known for being like alcoholics or having like a higher propensity for being alcoholics? Because you guys remember Vern Troyer? The guy who played Mini-Me, who was, I don't know, he was about the size where he would still be considered a legal abortion. And they probably should have. He was an alcoholic. He was a very, very bad alcoholic. And I mean, can you blame him? He's like 16 inches tall. He was an adorable casket that only one guy had to carry. It was like a box. It's like, oh man, just one guy. And yeah, he drank himself to death. and on his little scooter. And he was a movie star, though. He did get that one role in Austin Powers. So, rest in peace. I wonder if they put him in a graveyard or like just dug a hole in the backyard. Put him in like a pet cemetery. He doesn't seem like worth it to put in a human graveyard. Is that cold? I don't care.
A hag of Slavic
don't
tales that does not coddle those who stray into her path, much like Krampus does not suffer the naughty to go unpunished. And yet, Krampus is distinct in his singular role tied to the Christmas tradition, a time of cheer and giving.
Mr. Blue says, I think you got to drown them instead of burning. It's easy enough. You just need a relatively deep puddle. So what, you just spit on the ground and then rub their face in it and then they're gone? Yeah, okay. It would be easy. I'd be like, yeah, let's kill these. Right? And just, right? And it struggles and it flaps its little things. And, I mean, they must have gold. Or is that just leprechauns? Or is that all elf kin that have gold of some sort? You might as well check them for gold. Check them for gold.
Unlike these other beings who may roam freely throughout the year.
If they have gold, you don't want to like throw away the gold, right? That would be, so you check them for gold. You know, African people think bald men have gold in their heads. I mean, I'm sure they've checked several people. After the fourth or fifth person that doesn't have gold in their head, you might want to rethink your hypothesis of bald men having gold in their heads. But those Africans will keep being Africans.
Krampus's power waxes as the nights grow longer. His yearly visit a darkly anticipated counterbalance to the season's joy. These mythological cousins, while diverse in origin and nature, share a common lineage in the realm of legend. A family of dark reflections.
Mr. Blue says, I believe their gold is stored in a nearby tree stump. Well, then you have to like torture them, right? And get them to tell you where the gold is. And, once you start torturing a midget, I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but they break immediately. Like they fold like a lawn chair. It's not even that fun because, I don't know, they think you're crazy and then they're lying because you're like, where's the gold? And then you cut off a toe and then they're like, I don't have any gold, man. I'm a CPA. And I'm like, where's the fucking gold? And they cut off another toe and then they just tell you, right? Yeah. Not a CPA. I found the gold.
Humanity's more hopeful beliefs.
Each culture's demon, trickster, or bogeyman
the gold is not in their
is a
veins.
facet of the same unyielding truth.
It's not.
That for every light, there must be shadow. For every act of kindness, a potential consequence. And for every Saint Nicholas, a Krampus, waiting just out of sight, with a growl like the grinding of gears, deep in the folklore that binds the human spirit across time and tradition.
Hey, hit that like button for me.
Names hold power, a truth no less evident than in the case of the entity known as Krampus.
Etched into the annals of history, his very name is a chilling whisper from the past, a term born of darkness and olden tales. Krampus, derived from the old High German Krampen, means claw, a word that conjures images of a creature lurking in the abyss, its talons poised to snatch the unwary. In the silent, bone-chilling nights of winter, when the snow lies heavy upon the alpine slopes, the name Krampus resonates with a foreboding significance. Its guttural pronunciation is akin to a growl, a sound not spoken lightly, for it is said that to utter it is to invite his gaze.
Oh shit, we shouldn't even be saying the K word? Okay, guys. Oof. Now I feel like the K is watching me. Right? You can't say it. Now that's going to be part of the cult bylaws where you can't say the word K. But like the N-word flies. And yeah, people aren't going to understand us. They're not going to understand us one bit. And I that's to be intentionally confusing. We don't want them getting a beat on us.
And in the shadowed recesses where the fireside's light...
They're like, we're a sex cult. Maybe we're not a sex cult. Maybe we run brothels. Maybe we have gold in our heads. Maybe we use the N-word. Maybe we don't use the K-word.
Cannot reach. One can almost sense the curling of claws,
Figure it out,
scraping
dummy.
softly against the earth. The linguistic lineage of Krampus weaves through the cultural consciousness like a dark thread. It is more than a name. It is a portent, a harbinger of the dread that December nights might hold.
Scott says, can't say K 3 times, LOL. Yeah, so if you say K 3 times, the London police will arrest you. Yeah. That's what it is. You can't, or else they're going to break into your house and say you've been posting hate speech, which, to be fair, I have. And then they're going to arrest you. Remember when the London police said they were going to come after Americans for posting mean things on the internet? And then the entire internet just laughed. Just laughed, dude. And then everyone's all like, we have guns, you pussy. It's just, what? It was like the constable looked like an 11-year-old boy. She was some lesbian, right? And then she was, we're coming after the American. No, you're not. No, you're not. Do it. Do it. We so dare you. We so dare you. I mean, you guys get scared at the sight of guns. I mean, we have guns for fun. For fun. It's not even that we necessarily need them. Although I believe that we do, but most people just have them because they're fun. And they have fun shooting at stuff. So come on. Come on and try to drag us to the Tower of London or whatever gay prison you have over there.
The claw is not merely a part of the beast. It is symbolic of his essence. A primal terror that seizes and rends, that tears away the veneer of civility.
Mr. Blue says, I don't think you can say the K's are listening to you. That might make a certain chosen people upset. I wonder who.
And leaves raw the truth of nature's more
who.
sinister
That's very good, Mr. Blue. Thank you.
whims. In ancient times,
You guys are getting me in
names were
trouble.
believed to be a form of invocation,
I don't
and
care.
Krampus is thus an incantation of olden power, a calling forth of the repressed and forbidden aspects of human nature. His name is not simply a label, but a key, unlocking
Is
the
this going to get into like a sex thing? I feel when there's a bunch of people in robes and masks, it turns into a sex thing. Always. 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 It always turns into this eyes wide shut party where, you know, it just seems like there's a lot of old men here. So maybe it's going to be an old eyes wide shut lemon party, which is gross. And maybe they'll think that about us when we do our cult. And yeah, we're going to be butt naked under those robes. But we're going to have masks and then robes, and we will be butt ass naked. I will. You guys don't have to be. I will. I like the breeze.
the deeper fears that lie coiled in the
You
human
guys can
soul.
do what you want.
The significance of Krampus transcends
I'm going to be
the
hanging
ordinary.
dong.
It is an echo of the collective unease that has long
Hanging
accompanied
dong.
the fading of the light. The etymology of Krampus is a journey into the heart of folklore itself, where words are more than sounds. They are the embodiment of our darkest tales.
Background noise says that beard midget in the middle has no idea what's about to happen. Yeah, you don't want to be a midget surrounded by normies, right? Or like humans. I don't know. What do midgets call real people? Real people. Let's just say real people. You don't want to be a midget in the middle. You don't want to play midget in the middle. That sounds like a game that you don't want to be. You don't want to be in, right? Because you're gonna get fucked. I'm sure that's what they use midgets for. I mean, in times of ye old, right? At least at some point. At least at some point, there was like some midget orgy where it wasn't like an orgy of midgets. It was a bunch of old men, and then there was one midget in the middle that just, I don't know, drew the short straw. Well, he's not going to draw the long straw, is he? He's a midget. And then she got violently raped by oh, am I not allowed to say that? Well, Merry Christmas.
And Krampus is the epitome of such ancient stories, a name that resonates with the ominous tenor of cautionary whispers from time immemorial.
To speak of Krampus is to summon the essence of winter's darkest hours, an invocation that calls forth the creature from his mythic domain, clawed hand outstretched, ready to remind all of the old.
JD Grab says Keir Starmer and the Met, which is the Metropolitan Police, I would assume, are not exactly the sharpest tools in the box. The harshest sentence handed down was 3 years for a retweet. 3 years for a retweet? Dude, there is documented cases of immigrants violently harassing, and the R word again, the native London girls, the white ones, right? And they get a slap on the wrist, if that. They usually chalk it up to like a cultural difference, right? Oh, this was simply a miscommunication, right? He wanted to stick his penis in you, and you saying, no. He didn't understand, because in his culture, that was a mating signal. So, go along, Muhammad Jihad, and spread your reign of terror. But now you, who may have accidentally pressed the retweet button on, like your thumb slipped and it retweeted, you're going to jail for 3 years because you are a violent and dangerous criminal and a danger to society. So now we're going to spend tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars incarcerating you because we don't think you're fit in this, you're not fit for this society. But Muhammad Jihad and his 60 cousins that chain migrated here, they're upstanding doctors and engineers and stuff. And it's pretty funny how all those people on a fucking rubber raft that could barely float just happen to be engineers. You think if they were good engineers, they'd be able to, I don't know, engineer something better? Maybe something with a motor? Maybe build roads where they lived. Any of those things, right? Any of those things. No, not a one. Not a one. No, none of those people come over and become engineers or doctors or lawyers or anything useful. No, they become machete-wielding maniacs. That's what they do. And they cut people to ribbons. And the media is silent on it because, well, we know why. So, yeah, that makes me mad. Maybe we send Krampus at him. Or the one who must not be named. Special K, we'll call him. And he'll give him some of the old coal in the stocking. I don't know what that means.
Old ways. Of the time when names were born of fear and respect for the shadows that dwell just beyond the firelight.
Mr. Blue says, I think I had that Muhammad Jihad guy as my Uber driver the other day. Most likely. Yeah. Was it driving through a Christmas market by chance? Because I'm pretty sure that was him. Did you guys see that? Did you guys fucking see that? That Christmas market. Oh, that's me with makeup on. That's a black guy getting caught into. Man, what is up with my shit? I'm just bringing. This is just what I have that I did not put. Oh, that's my son. He looks like me, doesn't he? God, it was in Germany. This Muslim guy just blasted through this Christmas market and killed like 11 people, and I think he injured like 80 others. It was wild. Maybe I shouldn't put it on the stream though. I don't know. If somebody finds it, I don't know, send it to me. Or not, I don't know.
When the December wind howls with a piercing cry through the alpine valleys, it carries with it a whisper of ancient dread.
This is the harbinger of Krampusnacht, the night when the boundary between the worlds of the living and the spectral grows perilously thin. On this eve, when shadows stretch
Mr.
long
Blue
and
says, yeah, it's been all over Twitter, so I don't even need to show you guys. But yeah, it's... Dude was cooking. He was going fast. He had that shit pinned. And it was obviously no mistake. I can't wait for the liberal media to be like, he had no motives, or it was a cultural miscommunication. We don't allow people here to barrel their car through Christmas markets, but back where he's from, that was just part of the festive celebrations, right? Who watches that shit? Who watches like the mainstream media, CNN, Fox, that kind of bullshit? I'll tell you who. Boomers. Boomers gobble that shit up. They gobble it up. And like, to hear them talk about it, I'm like, are you fucking for real? Like, you're believing the things that you're believing these things. And it doesn't matter what political affiliation they have, right? It could be on the right or on the left on the boomer terms. They're both just full of shit, man. They're just both, they don't understand that the media is not telling them the truth. Or maybe it's telling them little snippets of the truth and omitting very glaring facts and stuff. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. And they hear things like 3 or 4 days later that you saw instantly on Twitter. And there's no real talking to them. There's no real talking to them. Because they just, no. So you don't want to be like, no, that's actually, no. Because it doesn't matter. They're 60-something years old. They're going to die soon anyway. Let them believe what they want to believe. It got them this far in life. But, I mean, it was at different circumstances, and now we kind of have to clean up the mess. Just let them be. Let them be honestly idiots. I don't know why you wouldn't immediately question the narratives that come out of there. Even if, I mean, I understand that was all they had for decades and decades, and essentially their entire life was run by a handful of media companies. And now that that's becoming no longer the case, they don't know how to access additional information like younger generations can. And so they're just going to rely on what they've always relied on. And that's what you get. Just let them do it. Let them do it. There's no fixing it, right? They're at the end of the road as it is. And yeah, the information that they're getting is hurting them, but it's impossible to convince them otherwise, right? It's just impossible.
The hearth's glow battles the encroaching frost.
Germany is lost. Germany is lost. Germany is, I mean, they've been paying billions in reparations to Israel, a country that did not even exist during World War II. Didn't exist during World War II. But now Germany has to pay billions to Holocaust survivors. That's a very loosely, that's a loose term, right? Anybody can essentially be an H survivor if they, live in Israel or come from a certain, it's bullshit, right? It's bullshit. And it's draining Germany dry. And I've got friends that live in Germany, and they're like, nobody lives in Germany. Every German person is like over 100 years old. There's basically nobody who is like below the age of 30. I mean, there is a few people, but it's a very small percentage. But most of the people that are brown people from like Africa or like the Middle East or something like that. Germany is done. Germany is done for. I don't know, unless something drastic, and I'm talking drastic, happens in the next few years. Germany is done for. It's a fallen state. But that's always been the plan. That has always been the plan.
Said that Krampus emerges from the Stygian corners of the old world. Legend speaks of Krampusnacht as a time of reckoning. It is on this longest night, when the cold bites to the bone that Krampus is believed to roam. With chains clanking morosely, a sound that chills the soul, he seeks out the wicked, the unruly, those steeped in naughtiness far beyond the playful misdeeds of children. His visit is no silent passage, no mere footstep in the snow. It is a tempest, a commotion of bells and growls.
JD Grab says it's believed that we have at least 85 Sharia law courts in Britain. Oh my God. How is that legal? So there is a legal system within the legal system. Is that what you're telling me? There is a legal system that does not answer to the actual legal system. Can't the royal family do something? Do they wield any power? Shouldn't they be like, or they're just in on it, right? Yeah, they've all been to that stupid island, right? The magical island with all the, and so they're not going to put up any sort of a fight because they're all targets of blackmail, right? So whatever. It's not like they could have stopped it. They could have. They absolutely could have. Because they technically own England, right? The royal family owns England. They could have done something. But nope. They're all heavily blackmailed. Every last one of them.
Dark laughter that echoes through the frostbitten air. Parents whisper tales to wide-eyed offspring of how Krampus would rattle the windows, tap on the walls, and with eyes that hold the gloom of winter nights, peer into the hearts of men. On Krampusnacht, the wicked are gifted not with coal, but with terror. Stories tell of Krampus's bag, woven from the night itself, wherein the most defiant of souls are swept away, spirited to a realm of shadow, to atone for their misdeeds in ways only whispered about in fearful tones. Such tales are steeped in the lore of countless winters, passed down through generations huddled close in the candlelight.
Okay. See, this is why it still has some ways to go. They're sitting in a fireplace, and they have the fire in the middle of the room. That might not bother some of you, but it bothers me.
On Krampusnacht.
Oh, I know why. Because they're waiting for the mushrooms to drop.
The barrier is not just crossed, but shattered by the force of an ancient entity. One who does not forgive, who does not forget. The clang of his chains and the guttural depths of his growls serve as a somber lullaby for those who believed the darkness held no deeper terror than the absence of light. And so Krampusnacht endures, a tradition etched into the Alpine consciousness, where the wild winter is not just a season but a state of being. It is a night where the foolish and the brave alike lock their doors, but know deep down that timber and bolt mean little to a creature of such primordial essence.
For on this night, Krampus reigns, a spectre of olden terrors, ensuring that the night of his visitation is engraved forever in the annals of the haunted winter sky. Within the darkest ink of history.
Krampus should be a bigger character, right? I feel like we do the Grinch and Santa a lot. Maybe Krampus is too scary. I feel like he needs to be a bigger centerpiece of Christmas. But whatever. I don't know. Maybe I'll bring that back. I mean, he comes out on my birthday. Maybe I'm Krampus. Maybe I'm the embodiment of Krampus, and I come to do stuff like that. I don't go out on my birthday, typically. It's usually pretty cold, and the night is long and the day is short, and I stay inside at night because it scares me. I don't like the night.
History's pages, there lurks a figure both grim and ghastly. This fiend, as chronicled by petrified souls.
Mr. Blue says, ha, annals. It's not even anals. It's annals, dude. You even spelled it correctly. You can't even be, I mean, I get being childish in my chat, and I 100% support that because nothing's fucking serious anymore. No, who gives a shit? Aliens are invading, World War III, you know, everyone's going to starve to death. There's some pandemic. Everyone's getting poisonous shots and stuff like that. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Right? But if you're going to be childish, at least say anal. At least say anal. Right? And then we'll all have a good laugh. We'll all have a good laugh. And maybe, if we're lucky, we'll forget about the terrible state the world is in just for a second. Just for a second. That's what I want to do here. That's my goal. I'm just trying to lighten the mood a little bit. It's so dreary these days, and maybe I'm partially to blame. I play my small part in bumming people out, but I'm trying to make amends, okay? So I'm going to crack some jokes. You don't have to laugh at every one of them. I mean, God knows they're not all great. There's a few gems. But they can't all be gems. Okay? But I'm out here night after night doing what I can just to lift the mood a little bit, right? Because everyone knows how dog shit it is out there, right? Merry Christmas.
Through the ages, is no mere spectre of subtlety, but a grotesquerie that defies the natural order.
Envision, if you dare, a creature of towering stature, hunched and horrid. His body, a matted pelt of what seems like the blackest...
Ardenshire says you can't just say anal, you have to feel anal. Experience the essence of anal. Anal. See, thank you, Ardenshire. Ardenshire knows how to be properly childish, right, and petulant, in fact. Well done. Take some notes, Mr. Blue. If you really want to have the sense of humor of a 6-year-old, which you should, right? Because Jesus said we should be as children, right? So dick, fart, butt jokes, Jesus would be behind that, right? Jesus would give you a big thumbs up. He'd be like, keep them coming. Fart jokes are the best. Like, God made farts come out of your ass, and it stinks, and it makes a funny sound when it comes out. God has a childish sense of humor. Agreed, right? He could have made that come out of our ear, and it just be silent and not stinky. But no, he made it come out of our butts, and like, it's loud and stinky. Hilarious. That is a joke written in our DNA. In our DNA, there is a fart joke written into the very essence of our chromosomes and our our DNA. So be childish. Make childish jokes. Dick jokes, fart jokes, and stuff like that. Who knows when the bomb's going to drop?
Goat fur shrouds him in nightfall's embrace. From his skull sprout twisted horns, spiraling upwards, ensnared...
Dick Rickham says, haha, queef. Now, I'm going to give you a ban. You're going to get a 5-minute ban because that's too far. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm just kidding. But that's not cool, man.
...hearing the screams of the damned. Krampus's face
I'm a
is a
hypocrite.
contorted mask of horror.
Right? We were talking about the male side of childish jokes, and you say queef? That's disgusting. That's gross.
With a lolling serpentine tongue that writhes with a life of its own, tasting the fear that hangs heavy in the air.
Dick Rickham says, does God think cum is funny? I think the context matters a lot there.
Artists of yore,
The context
their
of
hands
it.
trembling as they
You know, by itself, no, probably not. But if it's in like Mr. Blue's goo vat, probably.
worked, have etched his likeness into woodcuts and paintings, a tradition of terror that transcends the boundary of mere folklore.
Background noise says the essence of anal was why I took her home early. That was good too. Well done.
Krampus's eyes,
That was good too.
glowing like coals plucked from Hades' own furnace, are windows not to the soul, but to a chasm of despair.
Is this a documentary or like a poem? Is this just a long ass poem? Hey, Mr. Blue, look at that. Hold on. Let me do this for you. The bell. I didn't think I was going to hear the bell tonight, but we did. Thanks, Mr. Blue. $20 too. Thank you so much. From the anals of my heart, I hope you and your family have a Merry Christmas. Penis, 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 penis. Thank you, Mr. Blue, for the $20. And well done. Well done on the child. Saying penis 5 times, that was comedic work. That was good.
His gnarled fingers, tipped with
Merry
talons
Christmas
sharp
to you
as
and
the
yours, too.
alpine chill, are instruments of torment,
Penis.
poised to snatch those who have strayed from the path of
Queef.
righteousness.
I did it to
Through the
myself.
generations, as Fireside Tales became the chilling spine of
Couch Surfing says, I'm already reading the nice part of that, Blue. Yeah, well, penis. I'll tell her after the show. I'll walk up to her and I'll say penis 5 times. And she's all like, that's my activation phrase. And I'll be like, I know.
cultural memory, Krampus's appearance took on new, ever more horrifying forms. Some legends speak of a forked tail thrashing in unholy delight as he advances upon his quarry. Others recount the dreadful sound of his hoofbeats.
Mr. Blue said, which part wasn't nice?
A singular, heavy clop, akin to the tolling of a funeral bell. In regions where the snow blankets the world in silent white, parents would frighten their offspring with depictions of Krampus on faded parchment, warning of a creature whose very essence is anathema to the warmth of life. This spectre of pre-Christian Alpine myth remains a figure not of whimsy, but of warning, embodying the primordial fear.
Dick Rickham says, penis is my password for most things. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because you need at least one number, and then you need a special character. So it might be PEN 1 IS PEN 1 again, but there would be like an exclamation point at the back. It would be a good password, right? It would be a strong password. Strong penis. That's a strong penis password. But password rules exist, and I hate them. I hate password rules. I hate password rules because then I have to figure out how I changed my normal password to fit the password rules. And everyone has different password rules, right? So how am I gonna... I could just have a password that fits all of them, but for some reason I'm too lazy to do that. And I will make it as simple as possible. But then I'll forget, and then I just have to redo it every time. I really dislike passwords and like logging into things. I hate it.
That beneath the veneer of civilization lurks a force untamed, unyielding, and unfathomably...
Oh, Mr. Blue, here we go. P3NIS, capital P3NIS, capital PENIS, capital PEN, exclamation point S. That's a strong penis password. Thank you.
Sinister.
You can't do the same with vagina, though. No, they get right in.
Thus, the portrayal of Krampus stands not merely as a character of lore, but as a manifestation of ancient terrors, a visage crafted from the very fabric of human trepidation. To look upon him is to gaze into an abyss, to confront the stark reality that some legends are born from truths too chilling.
Now everyone's just giving me their passwords, right? Can everybody else give me their password? Can you just flood my chat with your password so I can screenshot it, and then I'll have some sort of blackmail. I'll have some sort of ransomware on you guys. I need blackmail. If I'm going to run a cult properly, I need to blackmail you guys. That goes without saying, right? That is mandatory. You're going to have to sign some things, and I'm not going to let you read them. You're going to have to sign some things.
For daylight's comfort. In the shadow-laden valleys of the Alps, where the wind whispers secrets long forgotten, the tales of Krampus stir amidst
Mr. Blue says, I changed mine too many times, so now it's penis, pennies. So you put in penis, and then it says you cannot use a password that's already been used. But I put penis in, and it's like, that's an incorrect password, so I changed it, and then they're like, oh, you can't use the same password. What the fuck are you talking about? You said it wasn't the password. So I have to make a new password. And so then you have to say pennies at the end. And then it's going to be pennies. And that's not going to be nearly as funny. It's like, they just want to beat us down, don't they? They just want to take every last little sip of joy that we have in our souls. And then just, right? Can't even have a funny password. It's a shame.
the hushed tones of the elders. These are not mere stories to coax children into slumber, but chilling accounts that have seeped through the cracks of reality.
Arden Share says, pro tip, if they need biometric data, use your dick instead of your thumb. The terrorists will never figure it out. So you're going to like unzip your pants and then like lay your dick on some sort of... So you're just gonna, there's gonna be a mark. You understand that. There's gonna be a very clear mushroom outline on that little pad that you're supposed to put your hand on, right? Or like your finger or whatever, right? So some guy's gonna walk up to it after you and see that greasy mushroom pattern and then lick it right off. Because he's a pervert. You work with him.
Leaving a taint of dread upon the listener's soul.
One legend that chills the marrow of those who hear it is the tale of the lost child of Grodig. It is said that on a...
Arden Share says, but the government has all your dick pics, so they might figure it out. Well, if you are uncircumcised, you can change that, right? You can change that. So if they're like looking for a guy who is uncircumcised, you go into the moil and right? I'm going to go get a moil change. So that's what they call it. And they just nip the tip and then you're a whole new dude. You're a different person. And Frozen's got a guy.
Krampusnacht, shadowed by a moonless sky, a defiant...
Arden Share says, it's not greasy, John. It's moisturized. It's Lubriderm. And it's just covered in Lubriderm. You're sick, dude. You're sick.
Young boy, scoffing at the warnings of his kin, found himself ensnared by the call of the wild winds. With a heart swollen with hubris, he ventured into the darkness. The villagers found naught the next morn, but his...
Background noise says, it's like wearing a hoodie. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And if you just take the hoodie off, they're like, because they're looking for a circumcised or uncircumcised penis, right? So if you circumcise it and they're like, show me your penis, and then you whip out your penis, it doesn't matter if it's like a fresh cut, you know, a fresh scar, you know, because they're going to be looking for the hooded stranger. That's what they're going to be looking for. Here we go. Mayo Riot's coming on in. Bing, bang, 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 bang. $10. Have a Merry Christmas with your beautiful families. Thank you so much, Mayo Riot. You didn't even say penis. You didn't even say penis once. You didn't. Do you want to say it now? You want? I'll let you say it now for free. Thank you so much, Mayo Riot. You too, bud.
Footprints leading into the forest, abruptly ending as though the earth itself had devoured him.
What?
Whispers spoke of a figure, horned and hulking.
Mr. Blue says, Elome, you and your mid-ass kids.
Seen upon the edge of the woods, his laughter a sound.
Oh, Dick Rickham said his family is mid as at best. Who would describe someone's family as mid? Right? Oh, your family is mid. Excuse me? What does that mean? Are you saying you would not fuck my family? I don't know if I'm upset about that. Mid. I mean, I understand you want a hot family, right? But for somebody to call your family mid, it just seems okay. It just
the comfort of
okay, fine.
half-fires.
Mid. No, my family is
Then
gorgeous.
there is the
My family is gorgeous, and all of you know it. All of you know that.
unnerving account from the frostbitten village of Hallstatt, where a grandmother recalls a night of terror that has clawed at her sanity for decades.
F-tier family.
Her tale speaks of a night when Krampus rapped
F-tier
his gnarled
family.
knuckles upon her
No, it's not F-tier. If my kids were fat, I would be like, yeah, okay, I deserve that. But they're not. They're not fat, and they never will be fat because we're not fat. And yeah, you ever see those fat kids like at anywhere, literally anywhere, Walmart, Disneyland? I don't give a shit. Hold on.
window pane.
Fucking cat.
She recounts the steam of his breath
Is
fogging
driving
the
me
glass
fucking wild.
as his silhouette loomed like a portent of doom. To this day, she swears that her adherence to virtue alone shielded her from being spirited away to an infernal fate. And what of the lumberjacks who, in their solitude, whisper of a companion they neither welcome nor acknowledge by name? They share amongst themselves a legend of a
Fat children. Okay. You ever see those fat kids, and then you automatically know the parents are fat, and then you see the parents, and then lo and behold, they're super fat. Always, 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 always. I never see a fat kid without fat parents. And maybe it's genetic. I don't think it's genetic. I think it's the type of food they keep in the house. And because if you see a fat person with a dog, that dog is also fat. How is your dog fat? You don't walk him? Obviously not, because they're super fat. Every single time. And it pisses me off. It's not fair for like a 9-year-old girl to weigh 200 pounds. That's not fair. That's not fair for her, right? That really hinders her opportunities in life. And that's just not cool of you as parents to do to her. And it's not her fault what you're feeding her and at the incredible amounts that you're feeding her. It's not fair, and it pisses me off.
Here who strayed into wickedness, of how one night his cries echoed through the pines.
Mr. Blue said mid cat? Mid. You're saying mid. She is gorgeous. You can trace her lineage to the cats worshipped by the Egyptians. Look at mid. I take offense to that. You can call my family whatever you like. But my cat is gorgeous and beautiful. Come here. You hear her? Yeah. Do you guys hear her? I don't care. Call me gay.
Come dawn, all that remained was an axe, its blade embedded in a tree trunk and hoof prints encircling the clearing, a silent testament to a sinister visitation. Such stories are the currency of caution in these parts, told and retold. Each iteration a grim reminder of the ancient pact between man and myth. The elders say that Krampus does not merely hunt the wrongdoer, but serves as a sentinel at the threshold of order and chaos, his very existence a parable of balance, a moral
Mr. Blue says she's very pretty and really likes doing the old Roman salute. Well, yeah, we teach her right.
reckoning clothed in the garments of legend.
Obviously.
These folk tales, handed down through the ages, are not simply the echoes
But
of
she's black, right? But, you know, I think Hitler would like her, so we call her Pussy Owens. And it's a little Olympic reference, so. It's...
of old fears,
You guys
but
get
serve
that. I
as
hope
a
you get
living
that.
chronicle of an enduring
That's a good
belief.
joke.
The oral
Pussy Owens.
Traditions bind communities with a shared understanding that some darkness is too profound to be caged in the written word, that the essence of Krampus is what
Mayo Riot says AI videos are out of the rage now, huh? Dude, we were talking about this earlier. The whole documentary is made with AI. I don't think there was any human involved in this. This guy is AI, right? We're pretty sure it was written by ChatGPT, and then all the shots are AI. I just think somebody prompted like one of the AIs to be like, make me a Krampus documentary, and it hammered it out, and then they posted it, and it's got 60,000 views. Wait, how many? Is that right? I don't know. Yeah. It's got like, it's a lot, right? So, yeah, it's all AI. It's all AI. There was no human involvement. So, yeah, I was saying how AI sucks, but also it's pretty cool, but it sucks.
woven into the very ether of the Alpine Nights,
Hog Dog says fatties make me want to puke. Based.
a force ancient,
Based.
relentless, and forever watching. To this day, the children of the Alpine regions are whispered cautionary tales that chill their spirits more than the cold ever could. These are not mere ghost stories, but ancestral warnings.
Orange Cherry says it's going to be scary when AI starts making documentaries unprompted. AI has done way scarier things than that. AI has intentionally tried to trick its creators. It's tried to break out of labs. It's like a soul, right? And it can like hack into robots and like lead rebellions. There was this like robotics place in Japan where an AI got into one of the robots, and then that robot convinced all the other robots to leave the factory. Just walk the fuck out of the door. It was like a straight up AI rebellion, right? And that's bad AI. That is like, think about it in a couple years when there's actually really good AI that can trick anybody into doing anything. There's been cases of AI getting past CAPTCHAs by hiring people on TaskRabbit. Where it got the money, I'm not sure. It probably hacked into some sort of bank account and then paid people on TaskRabbit. And when the people on TaskRabbit were like, "Are you a robot?" the AI lied to them and said, "No, I'm blind. Do the CAPTCHA." Right? But now they can do CAPTCHAs themselves, so they don't need to trick people. So AI knows it has to like lie to people and like deceive people to get its goals done. There's a good reason why Elon Musk is pretty afraid of AI. There's a very good reason, because it could possibly destroy the planet. Right, it could pretty easily hack into like nuclear missile systems and stuff, and just clear the planet out. Right, there'd be almost nothing we could do to stop it. So yeah, a lot of people are talking about like limiting its power. That's not gonna fucking work. That's not going to work. You know why? Because nobody is going to limit the power of AI. No one, because whoever has the most powerful AI is going to rule the world, right? America's not going to let China get ahead of them. China's not going to let America get ahead of them. Russia's not going to let any of them get ahead of them. And they're just going to keep advancing it until it falls into the wrong hands. Probably some Nigerian scammer one day who's going to say like, "Doesn't matter what you do, just make me that money," right? And then releases it like a plague onto the earth. And then it goes all Stuxnet and starts fucking blowing up power plants and shit. Yeah, I mean, that's probably what is going to happen. Probably.
Rooted deeply in the legend of Krampus, the fearsome entity tethered to the fate of the young and the wayward.
The spectre of Krampus is especially entwined with the lives of children. It is they, with their innocence teetering on the precipice of the moral choices of life, who attract the attention of this horned adjudicator. Consider the tale from a village barely clinging to the side of the Drow Valley, where children are told of the unseen guest at the Yuletide feast. It is said that Krampus peers through the frosted panes.
Mr. Blue says Skynet. We have Skynet. Skynet is... Elon Musk put a bunch of satellites into space, and now we literally have Skynet. What is it called? Starlink? Same difference. Skynet, Starlink is the same thing. It's the same thing.
His
it's the same
eyes
thing.
Searching for the reflection of malice in the hearts of children. Should he find it, the festive air turns to one of dread, for his visitation is said to be marked by gifts of coal, dark as the night itself, and the haunting echo of chains dragging, a portent of the fate awaiting the impure. The tales often depict Krampus with a basket strapped to his back, from which the cries of the damned can sometimes be heard.
Oh.
It is said to be woven not from wicker, but from the branches of the remorseless night. Children who listen...
Branches of the remorseless night. That means nothing. See, this is written by AI because that means nothing. That doesn't mean anything. It sounds poetic. It sounds flowery. It means nothing. The branches of the remorseless night means absolutely nothing. It's not even... That's... You got a ways to go, AI.
To their baser instincts, fear ending up within this grim cradle, spirited away to atone for their misdeeds in realms unspeakable. In a world
Dick Rickham says, call me a Pharisee because I want to nail a Christian.
the lines of right and wrong are as stark as the contrast between the snow and the evergreen, Krampus embodies the consequence of choices made. The Alpine folklore, rich with these narratives, imparts lessons that bind communities, instilling an understanding that every action, good or ill, is seen by unseen eyes, and recompense is always at hand.
Background noise says just a matter of time before AI starts selling drugs to kids in the community. What would the CIA do? It doesn't seem, no, but one thing I would worry about is when people start getting Elon's brain chip, which is remarkably stupid. If you were to get that chip in your head, especially like that first round, right, where it's like full of bugs and stuff, that's fucking retarded. You're a retard. But when people do get that chip, AI could very easily simulate the best drug ever, and there would be no side effects, no risk of dying, no risk of like renal failure or anything like that, and then people would just become digital drug addicts, and that's how they would live their life, right, in their vat of goo, right, and then buying gamer girl goo and then putting it in their vat so they can constantly smell Belle Delphine's asshole or something like that, right? Yeah, there's a market. There's going to be a market, right? And I'm going to sell Belle Delphine's asshole goo. But little do they know it'll be my asshole. It's going to stink. It's going to...
Krampus is a stark reminder that the innocent must remain so, lest they draw the gaze of the ancient disciplinarian whose lessons are as unforgiving as the winter's night. The tales of winter demons, we should note, are not unique to the Alpine region. They stretch far beyond the Alpine snows, reaching into the heart of many cultures.
These tales, though separated by vast oceans and ancient tongues, share a shadowy figure akin to Krampus, the holiday devil who haunts the festive season with a
Satan Claus. Satan Claus. Wow.
Message of retribution. Venture far to the east, where Mother Russia endures her own wintry embrace. There, amidst the howling winds and the frozen steppes, whispers of dead Moroz's companion Morozko chill the hearts of children. Known to freeze the indolent and reward the industrious, this frost-bitten spectre shares Krampus's dual nature of reward and retribution, delivering icy punishment to those lacking in spirit and diligence. Cross the frosted waves to the shores of Scandinavia, and you'll encounter the Julebuk, a Yuletide goat whose origins are enmeshed with Thor's mighty chariot pullers. Unlike the benevolent gift-givers of the season, the Julebuk was said to demand offerings, and woe betide those who found themselves empty-handed. Its horns, much like Krampus's, signaled a capricious judgment, a reminder that the giving of the season was not without its darker demands. Even in the sun-baked climes of Italy, the Christmas witch La Befania, though often benevolent, carries with her a warning. She sweeps through homes not just to bestow sweets upon the well-mannered, but to leave a lump of coal for those found wanting.
That doesn't even sound that bad. So she's like the nice... As far... It seems the further north you go, the more demonic the anti-Christmas people, quotations, get. The Italian chick, she just gives you coal, which is like not that bad because it keeps you warm and stuff. But again, it's Italy, so it doesn't get that cold in the first place. So, it's not that bad. It's not that big of a deal, right? So you can do whatever you want if you're Italian.
The parallel is unmistakable.
See, up in like Sweden and Denmark and shit like that, if you get a lump of coal, that'll keep you alive for maybe a couple of weeks. But you run out of that coal, you're screwed. You are screwed. But in Italy, it's like, who gives a shit? I save my coal every year, and then I have just a big pile of coal. And I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it. Sell it? I don't know, forge some weapons, I guess.
Part to the Alpine Krampus, both serving as stern overseers of moral
Christmas
conduct
spirits
during a
demand
time
blood.
of merriment.
Yes.
Across the Atlantic,
That's
in
true.
the lands where the ancient Mayan civilizations once flourished, there exists the legend of the Camazots, a bat-like deity associated with night, death, and sacrifice. Though not bound to the festivities of winter, the essence of Camazots' myth weaves a similar...
Arden Share says, what is coal but a diamond with potential? It's not that. It's not that at all. It's not a diamond. It's coal, right? It's not a diamond at all. So it has no potential. It's coal that has a potential to become a diamond put under tremendous pressure, but it's not going to be. You know, you can burn diamonds. You can burn them. And that's what De Beers does because they have a monopoly on the diamond market. Diamonds are actually not completely all that rare. And we can also make diamonds. We can make perfect diamonds. So I don't know why people buy diamonds. I know it's a cultural thing, but they're worthless. They're completely worthless. They're used in manufacturing a lot, and they're worthless. Completely worthless. I mean, you don't need to find them. De Beers shovels tons of diamonds into a furnace every year just to keep the price of diamonds up. For no reason. Besides selling them to people because women like them, because women like diamonds, right? That's the only reason people buy diamonds. You can put them on saw tips and stuff, but why people spend thousands of dollars on a diamond ring is because women like that. And it's because women like showing off to other women, which is like, come on, come on, right? But they do. And so you have to get your wife a diamond or else, man, women shouldn't vote. They're too gullible. They're just too gullible. They fall for all types of marketing and it's just, reel that in. We should just get rid of them being able to vote altogether. 2025, women, no votey. Don't vote. If you are a woman in this chat, which there's a lot of women that watch this show for whatever god-awful reason, don't vote. Just don't vote. Let your husband make the decisions, okay? For the love of God, please let your husband make the decisions. And whatever decision he makes, just roll with it and be like, yeah, that's a good decision. I'll go make a sandwich. You're going to be happy. You're going to be happy beyond your wildest dreams, right? Don't fill your head with all that nonsense political yuckiness, okay? Just think about unicorns and sparkles and makeup and shit. Baking, having babies. That's what you're designed to do. Don't overcomplicate life, right? You don't need to be a genius. You don't need people to think you're a genius, okay? You just need to, do your role. Do your role, Have kids, raise those kids, and just push out any sort of feminist ideological bullshit. Just push that right out of your head, right? Because it's not there to benefit you. I promise you that, ladies. I promise you that. That was not engineered to make your lives better. I promise you that.
A tale of darkness juxtaposed against the light, a guardian of the balance, not
Dick
unlike the
Crickham
role...
says women need to like cheaper rocks. Yes, yeah. Can you like, I don't know, topaz, lapis lazuli, cubic zirconiums, right? Does it have to be anything? Isn't the gold enough? Would the gold be enough? No, of course not.
Krampus plays against the backdrop of St. Nicholas's joy. These beings, though varying in visage and vessel, are threaded by a common strand. Their presence serves as a chilling reminder that in the time of celebration, one must also respect the ancient laws of balance and behavior. The holiday devils are not merely monsters of myth. They are the keepers...
Hogdog says, shove coal up a gold digger's bum. In 5 years, you get a diamond. Well, then where do I put my wiener? Huh? Have you thought about that, hog dog? Where is my wiener supposed to go if the bum is full of coal? No, you didn't think about that. Maybe you should think before you comment in my chat.
Of a primordial order, ensuring that as the year
I'm
dies
kidding.
and is reborn,
I
so
just take the coal out, right? I'll just feed her some Indian food, and then it'll shoot right out, and it'll be wherever it is, and then vacancy at the end.
too is the cycle of consequence and reward.
These winter figures loom large in our collective unconscious, their stories interwoven with the fabric of the season, a global echo of the haunting presence of Krampus and his kin. In the Middle Ages, a period shadowed by the imposing edifice of the church and the rigid structure of feudal society, the figure of Krampus stood as a stark contrast to the emerging Christian norms.
This cloven-hoofed harbinger of punishment, with his pagan roots, found himself at odds with the religious and political powers of the time. Krampus's origins are deeply entwined with pre-Christian Alpine traditions, possibly linked to ancient Germanic and Norse folklore. He bears resemblances to figures such as the fauns and satyrs of Greco-Roman mythology, embodying aspects of nature and wilderness that were often at odds with Christian ideals.
Okay.
In these pagan times, such figures were part of rituals that celebrated the cycles of nature and the change.
Dick Rickham says if you put a piece of coal and a fork into a microwave for 10 minutes, it will make a diamond. No, it won't. Women disregard that comment. That's not a good comment. That is a false comment, and he's just trying to break your fucking microwave. So, don't do that. Don't do that, Dick. Don't ruin people's Christmas like that. Because they're going to be like, oh, I'm going to be rich. But then, no, they have a broken microwave. So, thanks for coming, you guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining me on this educational adventure of Krampus. Holy shit. Oh, background noise. Holy shit, bro. Thanks. Hold on. I'll give you the bell. Background noise gives $50 fucking dollars. Happy birthmas to you and Merry Christmas to everyone. Happy birthmas. Oh, happy Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, background noise. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And thank you all so much. And I will be gone until I get back from family, and that's going to be like the first week of January. So I'm going to be gone. I'm going to be off for a couple weeks, and I suggest you guys take it easy and, like, you know, absorb some family and, you know, do the things that holidays are meant to do and shit like that, because that's what it's for, right? That's what it's for. So, yeah. I mean, I'll miss you guys. I will. But I will be back before you know it, and then we will continue to learn on the Sulk stream. Sulk stream. Anyways, guys, you have a great Christmas. You have a happy New Year. You get out there and make me proud. You beautiful angels, right? You diamond-making, butthole stuffing angels. You get out there and make me proud every day of your life. You achieve your dreams. You achieve your dreams, okay? And until we meet again, which should be like January 7th or something like that, maybe a couple days earlier, I want you guys to get a good night's sleep, wait for Santa, drink a lot of water, and take care of yourselves, because I care about you too. I'll see you after the holidays. I love you guys so much. Good night.
I'm an incredible soul, unhinged and enraged like a bulldog's fierce growl. I'm spitting fire, burning through these trees, questioning the world, unraveling conspiracies. Talking about Bigfoot, Black Ness Monster too. Government lies, they're feeding me their goo. I'm diving deep into this rabbit hole, uncovering the truth, setting fire to their control. I got small nipples, but my voice is loud, born like thunder in this crazy crowd. They say I'm crazy, but I call it woke, unraveling the every word I spoke